Hey, this is Dave from MetalEpidemic.com. Thank you for checking out our YouTube video. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button below if you like this type of content, and we hope you enjoy the review. What's up, guys? Dave here from Metal Epidemic. Hope everyone is safe and well. Thank you for checking out this review. For this review, Duncan and I have been checking out the new EP from slamming deathcore unit Distant. Distant are a six-piece band hailing from Holland and Slovakia, and Dawn of Corruption follows up their 29 release Tyrannotopia. I think that's how you pronounce that.
We're fucked anyway, Dave. Yeah.
Every review, there's one fucking album title or track title. It's just a nightmare to pronounce.
So did you say 2009 was their last album?
19.
Oh, 2019. I was about to say, fucking hell.
The band, they've also been joined by two new members, Jan Matto on drums and Ice Smith on guitar. So,
Ice, oh, what a name.
I think again, I'm not sure the pronunciation. It's E-I-S-E.
Right, it's Ice now. Ice now.
It's Ice.
It's the coolest fucking name ever, Dave.
Yep. Should be flying a jet. So three guitarists on this, which does not really surprise me considering how this release sounds, to be honest.
Did you hear this release? I'm sitting my guess was there was three guitarists and the drummer was playing guitar as well, just to make sure.
Yeah. There's also two guests on the release, Jason Evans of Ingested and Mendel, former guitarist of Aborted, also guests on the track. So I think that the first thing...
There's like a fourth guitarist on that track. You know what we need to do? We need to guest in another... What do you guys think? Can we get another guitarist in here? What's Mendel doing? I remember, did you see him last week? Aye, we'll get him in here. You think four guitar... Before the drummer plays guitar as well, look at him. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I love it. The fucking balls on these guys, Dave. The fucking balls.
Yeah. The first thing that hit me about this release just was the sheer weight of it. I mean, and it's no surprise considering the guitarists that are on this thing, but it is absolutely pummeling in every respect. From the performances to the production, it just demolishes everything in its path. I don't know if you ever heard the Slaughter to Prevail track, Demolisher, that came out, I think it was earlier this year.
No.
I don't know, the internet went fucking mental about it, but I kind of got the same type of feeling from this, and that it's just unbelievably crushing. There wasn't one moment during the 18-minute runtime that I wasn't making a disgusted face. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. One of the things that I loved about this band is just when you think they've hit their threshold for heaviness, they're just like, nah, hold on a sec, no, we're going to take it a little step further than that. Hellmouth is probably a good example of that, where they take a riff that is already pant-shittingly heavy and they either slow it right down to the point where it's just like tar running out of your speakers, or they flip it the other way and infuse it with like a set of blast beats. And there's a lot of variation on this. They constantly like shift gear in terms of the rhythms and the tempos, but it never sounds like disjointed or poorly pieced together. It still has a flow to it, and I think that's one of the key things to making a good deathcore album. It's something that a lot of deathcore bands aren't that great at. They either come across very paint by numbers, or they try and do something like this, but it sounds so like fragmented that it kind of loses its flow and cohesion. But I didn't get that on this release at all. I thought the whole EP flowed very well. The other element I felt really added another layer of depth to this sound was the atmospherics. There was, I don't know about you, but I had this like constant feeling of dread.
Oh, aye, this is the epitome of a dread-filled album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got a very almost like a nightmarish quality to it. So not only you like being hit with this colossal wall of heaviness, but it has this like ominous coating to it that takes it from being just a devastatingly heavy EP to something that makes you feel a bit uneasy. And it's there from the get-go, like the first track, Hull of Crows, and it pretty much just lingers in the background for the whole EP. Sometimes it's like something the guitar is doing, like a bleak chord or a bit of like eerie lead work, but then they also throw in some like dark synth layers in there as well, which just kind of like adds to the gloominess of the whole thing. Actually, at times they were a little it reminded me a little of a deathcore band from Indiana called Aegaeon. I think we saw them years ago in Glasgow, but they're maybe a little bit more spacey at times, but just the combination of heaviness and the dark atmosphere kind of put me in mind of those guys. I think my favourite track was probably Hellmouth from the EP, which I mentioned earlier. I love the sounds they use for the atmosphere on the track, and riffs wise, the end of that track is just decimating, absolutely decimating. It's so heavy, but I liked Oedipism. I'm not sure again how you pronounce that, but I think it's Oedipism. But more from a kind of vocal point of view for that track, the different ranges and tones going on in that track are really impressive. Like the gutturals in particular are fucking monstrous, but similar to, again, it kind of reminded me of that Slaughter to Prevail type vocal. It's just absolutely savage. Yeah, I thought this was a thoroughly enjoyable EP. I think as funny as dark and bleak as it was, I kind of could have listened to more of it. And I'm quite looking forward to like what these guys do next, and hopefully it's a full length album because I'd quite like to hear that. What about yourself? What did you make of this EP?
Oh, you had 6 songs and it's not 20 minutes long. Which is fucking insane. I mean, once again, this is another, like, I'm assuming that their name is an ironic name in description to the guitar sound. Distant.
Yeah, could be.
Because it's right fucking there. It's like, like right in front of your face. I mean, once again, I think I'm maybe not as high on life with you on this one. I think, to me, this is the perfect length for a release like this. Like, by the end, I was spent. Like, I was actually spent. I don't think I couldn't have went through another round at all. I think they're a really interesting lot. I mean, there's no way I would not have guessed there was 3. I didn't need to read the blurb on that one. That came as a zero surprise to me. No eyebrow was raised. It was a nod of approval. Yes, Dave, that's right. There are 3 guitarists here, and all 3 of them are playing heavy fucking shit. This feels like a great collaboration as well, in terms of the guitar. Like you say, there's some impressive, like, use of, like, it should be so easy just for 3 guitarists to play the same fucking thing, and that's the heaviness and that's the wall sound you get, but they use it smartly in their songwriting. Specifically, their best bits are when they're using it as a way to incorporate some ominous fucking, kind of melody or like atmosphere. Those things really, really, really benefit this band. The production is just fucking unreal. It's just unreal. It's the sound of a plane's engine falling off and crashing through your toilet. You know what I mean? Like, while you're sitting on it. It's just like so fucking heavy. I mean, it is so demonstrably heavy that it gets to a certain point. I think Hellmouth is the greatest example because of how they just go, oh right, oh no, we have another gear. So, like, listen to this. Because the production on it, you think you've heard everything, and then the band continually switch, and it is continually switch up by adding a different element, which makes it not just a one-trick pony. Yeah, it's quite impressive that something this heavy with 3 guitars and you can still hear everything. Everything. It's immaculate production. So clear. It's immaculate production. This is what I feel is missing from some of the kind of forefront, top tier kind of deathcore bands. Like, you know what I mean? I have been critical, and I know you're about to give me the shit face in a second. I've been critical at times of some of the Whitechapel production, which I think, like, at times isn't as full as I think they sometimes lean more towards what will give us the heaviest, fucking, most disgusting sound without necessarily capturing. They've backed off that, interestingly enough. More recently, the kind of darkened, blackened atmospherics are more prominent now, but in days gone past, they would sometimes be, like, almost overshadowed by things that maybe shouldn't be overshadowing it. You don't get that here. Distant have... whoever produced the album has done a fucking great job of making everything sound as important as everything else, which is not easy to do when you have 3 guitarists. So yeah, all that stuff. When the synth stuff comes in, I'm a happy guy. That's like, in this sort of genre, that's what synths should be used for. They should be basically used as soundscapes for Dread, and they're used exactly like that here. They shouldn't take prominence. They should be purely there to just give you something in the background, a fuzz or a tone or whatever it is, or an eerie, kind of ominous, discordant sound to allow everyone else to go over it and just keep that issue of Dread. Yeah, you're right. Dread is infused throughout the entire thing. While they're playing their songs, you're constantly fearing that they might come across and touch your penis. That's the kind of dread you've got. You're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it's always there. There's a hint of it, always just that you don't quite know if they're going to go even heavier than they are, or if they're going to... It's an ambience of Dread that I think works really, really well for them. Like I say, my only issue with it, and I imagine it wasn't an issue for you and it won't be an issue for most people, is that it almost becomes too overbearing. By the time the void kicks in, I'm ready for this to finish. It reminds me of Calculating Infinity. The first time I listened to Calculating Infinity by Dillinger, about halfway through that album, I desperately wanted it to be over because I'd never experienced anything like it, and it was so overbearing and so unsettling that I just needed it to stop. I just needed it to, and Dawn of Corruption is a great example of a band that just want to be the heaviest thing on the planet, and you could argue have probably achieved that. So it's that they're really good at what they do. It's not a boring listen. It doesn't fall into the trappings that a lot of deathcore falls into. They kind of avoid that, but yeah, to me this is the perfect length from them, and if they do an album I will check it out, but if it's a whole album of this, I'll struggle to get through it. Like 18 minutes of this is like 18 minutes in hell, so which they can use as a tagline if they want. So
I'm fully on board for a full-length album, guys. So
of course you are. Dave's like,
just disregard whatever he just said and write a full album for me.
We'll still check it out. We'll still check it out, but it will be a lot of Dave going, oh, and me going, like so fucking heavy, man. So like, just when you think, I mean, this is October now. Just when you think you've heard the heaviest shit you're going to hear this year, bands are still like raising that bar.
Absolutely. So, ratings for the new Distant EP. As you probably guessed, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I would like some more. It is a perfect length for an EP, and once I got to the end of it, I was like, yes, give me another 5 tracks, please. So, give me that album, guys. I need it in my life. For this EP, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5.
Interestingly enough, I'm a 4 out of 5.
Oh, really?
Because it's the perfect length, Dave, and we don't need any more.
Yes, we do. Check this one out, guys. It's out on the 23rd of October on Unique Leader Records. The EP is called Dawn of Corruption, and you can check these guys out online at facebook.com/Distant Official. I'll put a little link in the description below for you to check them out. I hope you enjoy it. Let us know what you think. Put some comments in below. And thanks for checking out the review. We'll be back with a new review very soon. But until then, take care and we'll speak to you soon.
Bye, everyone.